Alright, and hi everyone. So today we are going to be doing something very interesting. I recently bought the 35mm 1.4 G Master and I'm quite curious to see how it performs on a full frame versus the 24mm G Master 1.4 that I've put on my FX30. So do they look the same? We are here in the reservoir today and we're going to be doing some A-B comparisons, and let's just see if it's worthwhile going full frame or you can stick to your APS-C with a very good prime lens. So I think the lenses are pretty much similar. So both are very high-end G Master lenses, 1.4. So we're going to be shooting at 1.4 and then let's see how they look different. Not very sure how much the bokeh is going to be on APS-C, but let's try. Right, so now we'll do a bokeh test. So I'm pretty close to the camera. You can see how I look. Alright, so this is how I look about 1.5 meters away. And let's go back. And so this is how it looks. So today I'm mainly going to be comparing background blur and how the image quality looks when you compare APS-C body versus a full frame body with an equivalent focal length lens at 1.4. Alright, so for the next few scenes, I'm just going to show you how the image looks at 1.4 on the full frame and on the APS-C. Alright, so when it comes to background blur, I feel that the biggest difference between your full frame and APS-C shows up depending how close you are to your subject. So when you're really close, full frame gives you more separation and the background feels a bit softer and you get more bokeh, and your subject sort of pops a bit more. So that's where the difference is easiest to notice at close distances, especially when you're at 1.4 on both lenses. When you move back a bit and start shooting at sort of a mid-range distance, I guess the difference gets smaller. You still get some separation on both, but it is less obvious than close distance at 1.4, as you can see here. And once you go to further distances, actually the difference in background blur is pretty minimal. So both setups can look very similar in real world use, and to me the full frame has advantages when you're shooting close, but when you're shooting far away and mid distances, I think APS-C actually looks pretty decent and you can't really tell the difference unless you are comparing A-B like this. Alright, so let's do a depth of field test. I am focused all the way far away to infinity. The focus point is in the distance in the middle of the frame. Alright, so I'm focusing in the middle of the frame far away. So let's top down the lenses and let's see how they look. This is 1.4. f2. .8 f4 5.6 f8 f11 and f16. Alright, so I guess the equivalent of depth of field for APS-C versus a full frame is 1.5 times because the sensor is 1.5 times different sized. So I have set my APS-C 24mm to 1.4 and the full frame at f2. So let's see how they look when you focus close and far. See if they give the similar look. So I'm going to focus on the near part here. So you can see the background if it looks similarly blur. Then I'm going to focus on the far away house. And let's focus near again. So now you can see the equivalent depth of field. For APS-C, you just multiply the f-stop by 1.5 and you get a similar ballpark kind of look on your full frame. Alright, so now let's do a dynamic range test. So the tree here is in the shade and it's really bright there. So I set everything to f8, so we are not going to overexpose, we are going to expose properly. And this is how I look. So I'm in the shade now. I'm going to walk into the light. So let's see if I can bring up the shadows and still look quite clean. So this is me standing here. So I'm in the shade. So I've exposed the scene properly and you can see that the tree is in pretty much darkness and the background is super bright. We have a lot of highlights reflecting off the water. So let's see how it looks. So after testing the Sony 24 1.4 on the FX30 and the 35 1.4 on the A12, I think the results are actually pretty clear and the results also are a little bit confusing. So in terms of overall image quality, both setups look quite similar, which honestly makes sense because the lenses are very similar G Master 1.4 lenses. The test shows that a lot of the image quality coming from the camera is actually due to the lens and not just the sensor itself or the camera body. So I guess all the camera bodies in 2026 are very good, and I think the differences in your image quality is really down to the lens. When it comes to background blur, my biggest takeaway is that APS-C at 1.4 looks roughly like full frame at around f2, so you're getting like a one-stop difference in terms of equivalent depth of field. That said, the difference is most noticeable when you're actually shooting wide open, and when you're stopping down, the differences are almost negligible. I found that at closer focusing distance, full frame gives you definitely more noticeable background separation, but once you move to the mid or further distance, I guess the gap becomes much smaller, and in many real world situations like what we've done today, it's not really that dramatic and obvious. So once you stop down to around 5.6 or smaller, the differences in bokeh and background blur become very marginal. So at that point, the full frame and APS-C look about the same to me. And where the full frame has the biggest advantage, I feel, is still dynamic range. The A12 gives you a lot more dynamic range, maybe about 1 stop or 2 stops more than the FX30. And if you need to lift the unexposed areas in post, you get a much cleaner look than if you were to do that with the FX30. But overall, I feel that this test proves that there isn't really a huge penalty to using an APS-C camera for video or photo even, as long as you use it with a very good lens. A lot of the time when people say that APS-C looks worse, actually is not because of the sensor size or the camera body being cheaper or lousier. It's usually because they're using it with a lower end lens. So if you're using very good lenses, I think APS-C is still a very viable choice even in 2026 when everyone's releasing full frame cameras. So you can save some money, buy an APS-C body, but just buy a really good lens that will last you a really long time. So thanks for watching and see you again in the next one.